thank you. First off, thank you so much for checking out Life Between Screens, the podcast that is about my personal creative journey in this crazy world. My name is Anthony Urquidez, and I am a father and a husband and a creative from Southern California. My official title at my 40-hour work week job is graphic artist, but I'd like to think of myself as a designer of details. For some reason, I've always just kind of noticed details and patterns and things of that nature while growing up. And at a certain point in my life, I kind of realized that design was the path for me. I thought it was the coolest thing that I could do to think of something and then all of a sudden have it appear on a piece of paper and or have it appear on screen for me in front of my very eyes. But as I've gotten older, you know, I feel like the creep has set in of just kind of losing my path, you know, working 40 hours a week and trying to freelance and trying to do these things and not having a proper education. Big surprise. A proper education in the things that I do. Um, it leads to a little bit of an imposter syndrome. But, anyways, why am I here? I feel and I know that I'm here to help people learn valuable life lessons without having to experience the pain. Uh, I'm currently learning. I feel this voracious appetite within me to really devour as much information and as much content and as much knowledge as possible that people are willing to give. And for whatever reason, it seems that nowadays people are willing to give away the content more for free, without any reason, without any purpose. I mean, maybe there's an ulterior motive, I'm sure, but uh, people like Chris Doe from the future, Mr. Ben Burns, Matthew Encitis. Oh man, I am so embarrassed right now. I apologize. Uh, but everybody over there at the future has become such a flotation device for me in this creative open water, if you will. I know Gary Vee talks about how the gatekeepers are no longer there. We no longer have to wait for anybody to give us approval for creating things and putting our content out there in the world. But we do have to face the fact that there is a saturation because it is free. Everybody is able to do this. But what makes me want to do this is I don't feel like I'm here to necessarily make things easier on people, but I feel like I need to at least attempt to help um, like-minded people who at least wish to better themselves or leave this place, world, environment, whatever you wish to call it, but to leave it a little bit better than they left it. And I know for myself, as a newfound father of a 13-month year old, 1 month, 1 year, 1 month year old, however you want to call it, um, I know that there are values that I have to instill, and all of a sudden it becomes a mirror of having to look at myself and look at what my values are. And all of a sudden, once I started looking at those values, um, I felt like I almost had a crisis of faith, for lack of a better term, because I started to realize that my designs were meaningless. And if you ever want to get to a creative, if you ever want to hurt a creative, uh, uh, let them know that you think that their stuff is meaningless. Now, think about that if you're telling yourself that. If you're telling yourself that your own stuff is meaningless and it doesn't have purpose and blah, 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 these self defeating thoughts, I mean, man, oh man, oh man. I can only tell you how much that hurt and how much I felt like I was going into a downward spiral. Truly, truly, truly. You know, how am I going to provide for my family? Is this career path that I chose for myself or that I felt chose me? You know, is this the right choice? Is this right? Is this correct? Am I a failure? You know, I didn't go to school for this. So at a certain point, somebody's going to find me out, right? Somebody's going to determine that, I didn't exactly make the cut. So all this stuff is going through my head, and, the recent way of the world is, we're trying to focus more on mental health for whatever reason. I caught myself, I practice meditation. I'm getting better at practicing meditation. And I remember I came to the realization that I wasn't exactly being mindful in all approaches of my life. And I didn't know what that quite meant at the time. Um, but I just had that thought kind of stick with me. I wasn't being mindful in the things that I was actually doing. In theory, what I liked to tell people was that I was being mindful, but I don't actually know if I was. Um, I wasn't getting much freelance work. I didn't have a drive to get much freelance work. And I didn't know why. I'm in this great relationship and I have a son and all these things are just seemingly going into the right categories. But I didn't feel right. I don't know. I don't know why. And one day it just kind of hit me when I had an epiphany when I was watching a video by The Future. Look them up on YouTube. Uh, I can only, sidebar, I can only say nothing but great things about this YouTube channel. They have provided nothing but great value, content, and provided a new perspective for me on my own life. So, for free. um, so please, 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 please go check them out. If you need any boosts or motivation in the right direction. Anyways, I had seen a video with Chris Do from the future talking about how he had felt as if, you know what I mean, like he the first time he had met a real graphic designer, or a real designer I should say, and how he felt like it was just in this home in a suburban area, and he didn't know that a real life designer like this actually existed or could exist. And I believe he said he was 17 or something at the time, and at that point he in a very Star Wars esque, Luke Skywalker esque, battling his old self. He knew that that was the night that he killed the old version of himself, and this caught my eye. This caught my ear. This caught my attention. I I have a flair for the dramatic. I enjoy an underdog story. I enjoy, um, you know, I don't know. Everybody, I guess, likes the tortoise. Nobody wants to be the hare. I guess in theory, people would like to be the hare. Everybody would like to be ahead of the race, and but I don't know. I don't know whether or not we romanticize struggle and whatnot. I don't know. Anyways, uh, he had talked about this, and I knew that I had to do something, and at that point, I just kind of had a feeling. A couple months before, we had experienced a deep loss in the family. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. We had a four-legged family member pass on to the Rainbow Bridge, and you know, it took a lot out of me. You know, yeah, as it does, and so I didn't quite know how I was gonna move forward, how I was gonna continue, how I was gonna even move forward day to day. I was losing love for this stuff that I called design. And I say stuff because it was just stuff. It was meaningless and directionless, and it was not, um, it wasn't, it wasn't anything with substance, is the only thing I can really say. And for whatever reason, by the universe, by God, by whatever you want to call it, I don't even know. But I came across the Chris Doe in the future, and I devoured every piece of content that I could after that point. I'm still devouring every piece of content that I can. There's only so many hours in the day, and especially being a new father, you know, not even a new father, a 1 year old's father. He's got me on my feet, man. He's got me running around for sure. But you know, Chris really made an impact on my life, and it's funny to say that, with considering it's not anybody who I've actually met, you know, in person. Um, but he started introducing all these ideas in my head of, you know, I've always noticed details growing up. For whatever reason, I've noticed details and patterns, and the smallest of things to be noticed, I've noticed. For whatever reason, I have no idea. Um, I look for solutions in patterns that I see wherever I go. Um, I colors catch my eye whenever I hear music. I feel color. I don't know why, you know, whatever reason that may be. But uh, you know, Chris Doe really talking about how these details really add up, and he had uh, an author on by the name of Seth Godin. You know, even I can't pretend that I knew of these people 6 months ago. Um, I've only learned of these people 3 to 4 months ago, and yet they've provided more value on my own personal life. Excuse me. They've added more value to my personal life um, than the past 10 years, and I can honestly say that with a sincere heart that the interview with Seth Godin led me to buy his book called This Is Marketing, and which led me to discover that my empathy that I felt as growing up, I've always felt empathetic. I've always felt sensitive. I've always noticed these things. It can. I've never felt as if it could be an actual asset to design, because design was just all about putting shapes on screens and typography and text on paper or whatever, or making it appear on a shirt. What point, what does it even matter that I know of these details, and I can see these things, appearing in nature, and things such as the golden ratio. Yeah, it makes sense to me. Of course, there's patterns in life. Of course, music is nothing but rhythms. Music is nothing but the vibrations and all that fun stuff. So yeah, of course, but learning that my empathy can be a tool that, for whatever reason, was an unknown concept. And the moment that I realized, I mean, it's what they allowed me to do was to change the lens in which I viewed the world. As hacky and as cliche and as I don't know, man, as typical, I guess, as you would say, as stereotypical as whatever as that statement sounds. I know that the way I viewed the world was completely different then. Um, it was around that point where I discovered Gary Vee and all these other people and these motivational people, and people will say what they will and take everything with a grain of salt. I have a very pragmatic approach with things. I view life as a buffet. I'm gonna take what I need and I'm gonna leave the rest, and that's really what I hope I can do with this community or this audience that I hope to build and I hope to connect with. Not even build, because I'm not building anything. I'm not building anything. I plan on connecting with whatever's existing out there, man. There's a lot of creative people, a lot of better people than me, and but I have value as well. That maybe I have a point of view that they may not know of. Who knows? But knowing that, I there's a purpose, and knowing that there's a way to make an impact now, and knowing that I can align my values with clients, and I can actually, what I've always wanted to do since I was a kid was just help. Then it feels like that makes more sense than anything. Kurt Vonnegut, in one of his books, had wrote to his son, who's a his son is a veterinarian, I believe. And he asked his son, what do you think the point of life is? And his son took a minute and he waited and he said, Dad, and this is Kurt Vonnegut he's talking to, author, philosopher, and everything. But he goes, Dad, I think the point is to help each other through this life. But the point is to help each other through this, whatever it is. And my dad has always stressed that with me. I have a foundation of that, of helping, of just wanting to help, trying to find as much value as I can to help, trying to find the way I can to help, because helping makes me happy. It's a it's a selfish reason, I guess, but helping makes me happy. Helping makes makes this world just a little bit better. And I lost sight of that for a few years. And it wasn't until having a kid and having lost, my four-legged companion, that you know, uh, it was a sink or swim kind of feeling of, okay, well, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And what I've learned is is I just want to help. It doesn't feel right to me to work 40 hours a week, come home, you know, raise my son with my wife, have family time, and then just sit down on the couch and not do anything. For whatever reason, I don't know why. If I had an answer, I feel as if I could maybe switch it. I don't know, but I just feel like I have to help. And design does it for me for whatever reason. Creative, maybe not even design, maybe just creating, being creative. I feel that in my life right now of I feel as if I have to figure out the best way to cultivate my son's creativity, not exactly inhibit it or put a dam up on it, but trying to find the best way to go. And those same principles that I'm practicing with this little 13-month old, I feel as if those same principles can be practiced with people, you know, to be purposeful, to be mindful, to be effective in the things that I do, to not create chaos, to create maybe a little bit of harmony. You know what I mean? Maybe not to create the chaos that my DIY punk rock roots showed me to do, but to maybe create a little bit more harmony. You know what I mean? Um, Create something a little bit more, for lack of a better term, and lack of a better, I don't know, something less hacky. Create something a little bit more beautiful in this world. Um, and that's why I feel as if I started this podcast, is to help, to have this be a learning journey, to document my process, to document the things that I go through with a 40-hour work week plus freelancer plus father plus husband plus son plus whatever else life throws at me. um, I feel as if I used to be selfish and hog all the information that I thought was so precious to me. And I used to hog all that, and I never used to reach out, and I didn't even bother investing in a community or investing in people around me or investing in myself even. The insecurity of that, you know, um, I don't know, that kept beating me up, kept beating me up. And it wasn't until I kept hearing these messages of service and acts of selflessness. And granted, you know what I mean? I'm not Mother Teresa. I have a family to pay for. So, of course, yes, I have a budget and a rate and all these things. But, like 12 steppers say, man, you gotta, in order to keep it, you gotta give it away. I'm really kind of starting to really see the value of, man, if anybody can learn anything from me, from little old me, from self-taught me, I've learned to get over that insecurity of not exactly going about the ways of paying tuition for my education, but going about the ways of the real world and applied sciences that way. Um, I don't know if I'm able. It sounds cliche, but if I'm able to do it, anybody else is. And I feel as if I'm here to kind of spread that message. And my goal for this podcast is to interview people who are uh, not gatekeepers, but people who, you know, want to collaborate with creatives, who want to, um, what do some of these businesses see? What do they look for? What might other people get value out of this? Maybe somebody listens to this and picks up on one thing. If one person gets something, man, if honestly, I can honestly say this: if one person gets something, then that moves their life in a positive direction, and allows them to get some a little bit of momentum going and achieving some of the stuff that they want to achieve, then by all means, man, then this is all worth it. You know, all this road microphone equipment stuff and everything like that is all worth it. You know, because it's I I can say it as much as I want, but it's all about helping, and you know, and what I mean, wait, hold on, what's today? It's 10:52 at night. My son and my wife have gone to bed. It's Saturday, June 22nd, 2019. 2020, you know, if 2020 comes around, when 2020, if, I don't know, man. When 2020 comes around, June, and life between screens has, I mean, I don't know, 200 episodes, you know. Granted, I'm here to give you advice, so chopped up into digestible pieces as much as I can. This is just really an introduction, as best as I can. I mean, if I can be honest, anybody who knows me knows that I am long-winded and I do not exactly know how to keep things succinct. So this long format stuff that I plan on doing is in my best interest. So I hope, you know what I mean. I plan on getting some long format stuff for you to listen to throughout the week, you know, giving you what I learned at the end of the week. So then that way you can learn without having to put in all that extra effort, you know, trying to be the messenger, you know, the past 3 months, the past 3 months have been a complete new approach in design and in life and in relationships and in community. I have many people to thank for that. You know, I'm sure you'll hear that in future episodes, but I definitely can see where, you know, this is I don't know. There's been not a doubt. There's not a doubt. You know, this kind of just makes sense, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure other creatives just kind of trust in that feeling of well as of just knowing that it just makes sense. You know, the one quote that I keep on. There's two quotes that I keep on kind of feeling for. It's the first one's by Gary Vee, of where he talks about all the action is on the edges. We've all been taught to kind of to play mediocre, to play in the middle, to play fair, if you will. And I know that uh, you know I've taken that approach the majority of my life. You know, and while things have turned out well, it's knowing that oh no, I'm so much capable. I'm I'm much more capable of what the gatekeepers kind of formally told me. And so learning that there's new outlets for this creativity and expression, what, oh man, like all bets are off, people. So the second quote is from Chris Do, and it's pretty much just tattooed on my brain. It's tattooed on my brain of you know, action is where the gold is. You know, we get caught up in feeling that we can't do something for whatever reason, whether it be insecurity. You know, for myself, I hate being on this camera. The insecure side of me, you know, to see myself on this monitor and hear my own voice back in the stereo monitors, you know, or studio monitors, is weird. It's absolutely weird. And if I didn't acknowledge it, then I wouldn't be authentic. And I feel like that's part of my whole process, is trying to be as authentic and as transparent as possible. And no, this is all new. Trying to get in front of the camera and provide value to people. Um, it's me battling the uh, my self-conscious, whatever you want to call it, my self-esteem or whatever. Not hey, you know what? It is what it is. Small steps making big. I'm all about small steps that result in big outcomes. And if I can get on this camera, if I can get on this microphone and just tell you what I've learned and help you guys along with this journey, so that way you guys don't have to experience the pain, um, then it's all worth it. Like I said, one person. Like I absolutely mean that. It's one person that makes the difference. And so, just to reiterate, my name's Anthony Urquidez. I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I'm a creative from Southern California. This podcast is to help people who are like me, who work 40-hour work weeks and who try and continue their freelance life, for lack of a better term, who continue to have an entrepreneurial spirit. This is for you. If maybe you didn't exactly have a tuition, an education based in tuition, or maybe you did have a tuition education and they didn't provide much value. I'm willing to learn for the both of us. uh so whatever you do, if please comment, like, subscribe, email, follow, carrier pigeon, smoke signal, I mean, I don't know, telegraph, fax, whatever you need to do, you know what I mean? But whatever you need to do, like, let's do this, let's please engage. Let me know, what I mean, what you want to hear, let me know. I'm truly, truly, truly here to learn, to benefit my life and benefit your life if I'm able to, if you're willing, if you're able, if I'm able, let's do it. So I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you taking the time to out of your day. There's nothing more valuable than your time, and I just hope that as I pursue happiness, you find happiness, and we make this world just a little bit happier, and we find that it benefits everybody just a little bit more than we intended to in the beginning. So I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. And this has been Life Between Screens. Until next time, my name's Anthony Urquidez. Thank you very much.